Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and check the description box for today's topics. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Relax, man. I think we all needed a break. I know everyone's recovering from Thanksgiving, a lot of food. I'm excited to hear about your trip in Europe first, man. How was that experience in London and Iceland?
Super dope. So this was the second time I've been to London. Technically the third. I was there when I was like 3 years old. I obviously don't really remember it.
Yeah, you don't remember shit.
Don't remember a damn thing. And also couldn't do anything fun anyways, even if I could. But this time around went with my fiance, who I'm actually officially getting married to Friday. We can save that for after I describe the trip. But the trip itself was super dope. So there's two things that I really enjoyed about it. One, my fiance and I met these not a couple, but like a girl and a guy from London at a Chris Brown concert 2 years ago. Drunkenly met them, kicked it with them at a bar, and then exchanged Instagrams, not really assuming we were going to keep in touch, but like, you know, when you meet people and you have a good time, you're like, oh, let me get your Instagram, and then it kind of just work in your stories.
You just see them live their life and you never fucking meet again.
Yeah. But on the contrary, we actually did keep in touch here and there over the past couple of years. Met up with them. They took us out to like a hip hop themed brunch, which was super dope. They kind of pressured me into doing karaoke, so I volunteered. I was like, all right, like I can't make music and bitch out
have
on
stage
this.
fright.
So that was a cool experience, especially because I was like one of the few Americans in there. So after I got off stage, like a couple people were like, oh, like I have an American friend over here who I want you to meet. Horrible accent I just did right now, but
that was actually not bad. But it's also it's also like 300 other a million Americans. Like I don't know. It's fine. Like I don't need to know this one.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like the first time I felt quote unquote exotic, even though I don't feel that way at all. But that was cool. Another thing was like you don't have to wear a mask anywhere. Like I had this shit on my mouth, like down to my mouth on the flight, the British flight, and no one said anything until like 30 minutes before landing.
Oh, okay.
So that was dope. Like I felt free the whole time. Like nobody was wearing a mask. Not to say that it's the smart thing to do, but
sure.
I'm just so sick of being in the strictest place in California to going there. Like it was a nice change of scenery. The people are nice. I think the diversity stuck out as well because I don't know, anywhere I've been at in California, it's very cliquey. You know, you have pockets of Asians and pockets of Black people and Hispanic. Over there, it was like there's Indians with British accent and Africans. It was just dope to have that mix. So we had a really good time. The weather, to your point,
it's also like a lot of I'm gonna cut you off, but it's also nice to see. It's not even like interracial couples, but like interracial group of friends. Right, like your group of friends. Like I remember, like when I used to meet a friend over there. Like she's from London, her roommate's from Egypt. The other friend's a local British girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like from all over the place. That's super dope.
Yeah, 100%. So we had a great time there. We were actually considering moving there, assuming like not anytime soon, but down the road if an opportunity presents itself, just for a couple of years, just to get that out of the way off 100%. The bucket list. And the only thing, I know you mentioned this as well, and I agree, is the weather. It's kind of shitty. My girlfriend, I don't know like what dark parallel universe she used to live in, but she loves this shit. I'm like depressed sometimes when I walk through that weather.
Yo, but that's like the beauty. That's why the club scene and like the bar scene is so lit, bro. Because like you feel like you're in a different world. Because if you walk outside for a cigarette, you're like, holy shit, this is sad. Like, yeah, that's like a real fucking thing.
But yeah, the clubs were dope. Iceland, so we went to Iceland after. That was more depressing because it was darker earlier. It was like light for fucking 3 hours a day.
Oh shit, I didn't realize that.
And when I say light, I mean like gloomy light, like SF when it's quote unquote sunny. So yeah, we had like 5 hours of sunlight per day. There's not really much to do in the town, which I expected. And it's really just like meant if you're like really into nature, it's cool. I'm into that, but I can only do that for like a couple of days. Unless it's something crazy spectacular like an African safari or something.
Sure.
But it was just a lot of barren land, cold, lots of mountains and shit. Spectacular, but it was just weird going from like the highlight of London to even darker and like depressing, minus the family part.
Yeah, so it's like it's almost like it'd be dope to have like the balance of you have the spectacular sightseeing during the day, but at least you know at night if you want to go for like a nice dinner or a restaurant or a club, like you also have. Like, there's not really that option over there, right?
No, and we tried to get the last night we're like, oh, we should do a little game night or something and get some liquor and just chill at the crib. And we went out and couldn't. Apparently, they don't sell it like past 8 o'clock at night or something, or you have to go to like a specific like liquor store or I don't know, some sort of place that specifically sells liquor, because they didn't have it at like the little shops we went to. They had 2% beer, and I'm not trying to chug like 40 beers to get a buzz.
At all, dude.
So,
yeah, I feel that. But then how was the experience like jumping in the Blue Lagoon, all that stuff?
That was amazing. That was the first thing we actually did.
So how is it like it being cold? Is the water warm? Like how's that work?
The water's warm. It could have been warmer. I like hot like jacuzzis. You know, when it's so hot that like you can't even like fully get in right away.
Yeah.
I like that because the heat maintains itself better over time. Whereas this, it was like hot, warm, and then when you get in for 5 minutes, it kind of feels lukewarm after 10 minutes. So that was the only downside, but it was just dope. Like looking around, it's just like straight up fog in like every direction, and then you're in this Blue Lagoon. They have like a bar on the water, so we got a couple beers. So that was a really good experience. Getting out was like a nightmare.
Is it like a public park, or like you have to like make a reservation? So it's like
no, you have to make a reservation, pay. It's like a big ass spa, basically.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a really cool experience. That was like one of the few things I was really looking forward to. Just because me personally, I'm not like, I like sightseeing, but I can't do like 48 hours of it back to back.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It has to be like a balance of like, yeah, let's do it in the morning, take a nap, and then let's also go fucking rage at night and then wake up whenever we need to wake up. But
yeah,
dude, 5 hours of daylight will make anyone fucking depressed, bro. Like that sounds fucking awful, dude.
Yeah, it felt like it was 6 p.m. literally like the whole time in Iceland.
Yeah, no, dude. But I mean, at least you had overall, what would you rate the trip? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Like the entire trip?
Yeah, your entire time. Like
entire trip, I would say it was a solid 8.5.
That's good, dude. That's pretty much all you can ask for. Like for that many days away, did you have to, not to be the feds right now, but did you have to like work a lot? Were you locking in like throughout the day? Or?
No, fortunately I didn't. We did have some fire drills like that, of course, would happen like right before Thanksgiving. But fortunately, my team partner was like, she knew I was going to be there, and she's like, don't worry about it. I'll look at the emails. I did like very minor things, but I didn't have to stress out about it while I was there.
Dude. Fire. All right, dude. Okay, I'm glad it was a good trip overall. Obviously, getting there, getting back safe is the main objective, but glad you guys had a good time. Dude, for me, it was all about relaxation, dude, completely, bro. I know I was telling you during our last episode, bro, like, I don't know if like seasonal depression is a real thing, but I'm like the closest to ever believing it. Like I was the closest to ever believing like a couple weeks ago, bro. Like right when daylight savings hit, bro, like again, it felt like the days were 4 hours long. Like I'm waking up at 7:38, it's kind of sunny, not really. And then I look out my window around 4 o'clock, it's already fucking dark. And then I haven't worked out yet. So I'm like, all right, let me go work out. Then I'm like, all right, so all I've done today is work and work out. Like my day's over. Like I go to, you know, like it just felt like, dude, what the fuck? You know, like I was in a fucking funk, dude. Like so much so that I went to my boys. They had like a wedding party, so like because they're getting married in January. I'm the best man for that wedding. So I'm like, bro, I gotta go. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be a brunch, mimosa. Let's fucking go, bro. So the mixture of the dehydration from the mimosas and then me feeling a little bit depressed, to be perfectly honest, bro, I was like a shell of myself out there, bro. Like I was just like. They were like, yo, let's go to another place. And I was like, yeah, bro, of course, whatever you want to do. But like, dude, I was physically, again, I didn't know this, but my girl was like, bro, you look fucking miserable. And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good. Like, let's fucking keep going, get some drinks. And they're like, you sure, bro? Like, I was like, yeah, like, I guess I couldn't hide it well enough, bro. But yeah, so luckily, during Thanksgiving, I went to Orlando. I was there for 2 nights, man, but like, bro, like I felt bad afterwards because I went there to hang out with my brother and sister who live in Orlando and meet their kids. But bro, I got to the Airbnb Wednesday night before Thanksgiving at 9:30. Bro, I was asleep by 11. All right, woke up at 11 a.m., had mimosas, dozed off on the couch till 2, showered, went to pick up Gina, my girlfriend, at the airport so she could spend Thanksgiving with us. Dude, we got back at 4 o'clock. Dinner was at 7. I got so tired after dinner, I fucking went to bed at 9 o'clock, bro. And then didn't wake up till 4:45 the next morning.
Damn.
And then, like not even a nap, bro. Like,
what?
Out. And then woke up the next morning at 9 o'clock to drive back to Miami. So like, bro, like I was literally there for 2.5 days, but only awake for like 7 hours. Like, again, I felt bad, but it also gave them like time to hang out with Gina alone and not me being there. Kind of, so like it was good. And I really just think I needed time to just sleep. So I think what a mixture it was like my sleeping pattern was so fucked because again, it's so dark. I'm trying to do so many things to make up for lost time, which is not really being lost, but yeah, so it was really relaxing, bro. Friday, Saturday, did the same thing. The girlfriend moved in, so that was a big step for your boy over last weekend. So yeah, man. But yeah, it was really just my whole Thanksgiving break was just like, what can I do to ensure like I'm just like doing nothing and I'm okay with it? Because yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like I don't know if I believe in seasonal depression, but there was something in the air for at least 2 weeks straight that I was just like, bro, like I feel fucking off, like really off.
No, it's real. And my brothers actually noticed a change in my mood because we were on text and like I kind of snapped at them a bit and I felt bad. And I was like, what? Why am I like so off? And like I just wasn't in the mood to really talk to people, to do anything. And then like obviously knowing I was in a bad mood made it worse because I'm like, I'm supposed to be happy. And I think it also happens this time of year because you're like, fuck, you should be happy Thanksgiving and Christmas and all this other stuff. And it just like piled on top of each other. And I just found myself, and I still find myself feeling down. And I think it does have a lot to do with it being darker earlier, which makes me feel like a fraud because I keep talking about how like the night makes me feel alive and that's when I like I'm most creative and shit. And then as soon as I have more of it, I'm like ready to kill myself. Not gonna wait. No. But
I feel that. So are you still feeling a little bit low right now?
A little bit, but I think it's mostly like external stress from like just finalizing the wedding and like wrapping up the year and making sure like all that's taken care of. But I know like once the new year starts, it's all over, and then I feel motivated to like achieve my new goals and like start working out again and abstaining from alcohol and all that shit.
Yeah. I feel that, bro. All right, I'm getting in. It's obviously you always have me and the boys, wherever you need someone to talk to. But yeah, dude. I guess it's a real thing, bro. Because I'm telling you, like that shit hit hard, and I was just like, yo. How is it only 5 o'clock and it's fucking pitch black outside? Like, and like, yo, if I go for a run, I usually run after work. So now I'm going for a run at 6 o'clock and it's fucking looks like midnight. And I'm like, yeah, is this safe? Like, should I just stay home? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a real thing. But again, everyone who else is going through it, keep your head up. And if you can get away to somewhere that's more daylight, definitely do that. But it's been 2 weeks. Definitely missed catching up with you and shooting the shit. So let's get into it. Episode 93, right? 93. Yep. Legends Never Die. So obviously super depressing news this week. Well, I guess last week, and as well as the week prior, right before we went off the air. I guess probably start with the most recent one. To obviously everyone catching up. So Virgil, from Louis Vuitton fame, Off-White fame, I think his first company was Pyrex Vision, passed away at the age of 41 last, I want to say Thursday, or maybe it was over the weekend. I guess he was battling a very rare form of cardiac cancer. I guess he was diagnosed with this around 2 years ago. It kind of makes sense because I mean I'm not big into fashion, but I'm aware of like certain people. Same. And like you can see that this guy was working. He already worked a lot, but like there was like an extra amount of like shit he was putting out aggressively. Which again, I just thought he was trying to like feed the machine, but it kind of makes sense. Like now in hindsight, things to do to, you know, maintain his legacy and like leave something for the next generation. So I guess initially your thoughts when you found out he passed away, and like what kind of impression did Virgil leave on you?
Yeah, honestly, I was shocked. And I was even more blown away by how big he was, because for me to be shocked meant a lot, in the sense that I'm not a big fashion world guy. I honestly don't know a whole lot about him, but the fact that I was like, damn, like he's gone, really took me back and had me down. I think that's another reason why like I've been down recently. It's just all these random deaths and tragedies and
of
stuff.
young people. For
of
sure.
young people.
That's like tangent, but like I think me as well, dude. Like during my depression, like that's when Young Dolph, who we're gonna talk about later, passed away. And there's just something about like you being in your early 30s, but then people like only a couple years away from you, like dying. You're like, bro,
yeah.
And like they're fucking ghosts. So like I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves to anybody else, but it's hard not to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like the fuck. So yeah, man, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think it's just, for me, like you mentioned, it's a reminder that like no matter how much you've accomplished, how much money you have, how good of a person you are, like this life isn't forever. It doesn't last forever.
Right, because you think that guy has, if anyone has all the money in the world to make this shit go away, it's him.
Right.
And it's like, it doesn't
exactly.
work that way.
Yeah, like Steve Jobs, like one of the richest people ever, couldn't even save his own life. So it goes to show you how mortal we are. I know there's that running joke of like, oh, people die every day. Like, what's the big deal? You didn't know Dolph, you didn't know Virgil. But I think it's less about maybe them as individuals and more so the bigger picture of, you know, we all can accomplish things as great as them in different ways and leave an impact, and then a reminder to yourself like, oh shit, like what's my impact gonna be? So
why did I waste my like Wednesday afternoon doing absolutely dog shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know, now it's got me in a panic because I'm like, fuck, like do I have time to watch this TV show for 30 minutes? Like we got to work on this podcast idea or this song or whatever. Yeah, it's sad. I think what I found fascinating, I guess, is how he like managed to keep it a secret. And maybe for a lot of these people like Chadwick Boseman, I believe is how you pronounce it. I guess for them as celebrities, they're like, this is the only peace of mind I can have like in my remaining years, is to have this be private and people not treat me differently, or the fans treat me differently in these final moments. So I thought that was interesting too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it definitely hit home. It hit hard for a multitude of reasons. I think one, you're like, damn, like just like Kobe, another 41-year-old, like dude, 41. I mean, I hope I live to see 41, like God willing, but like that's only 8 years away from me, dog. Like that's not, like that's, you know what I mean? That's closer than 20 years old is, you know, for me. So like, that's not far away. So you start thinking about yourself and your own, like, you know, longevity, how much more time you have ahead. So yeah, man, that really hit home. But then also it's just sad because like it's amazing that he achieved so much and that he passed away right before Art Basel, that I actually saw Virgil, because a lot of people know that like Virgil's like was also like a fucking great DJ. We'll get into when we saw him at Coachella, but like I actually saw him perform at Art Basel. And Art Basel, for anyone who doesn't know, is it's Art Week in Miami. He did a fucking $10 show with Diplo, Major Lazer, like in the back of Koyo. So that's like the first time I saw him perform, and it was like, holy shit, like this guy's Travis Scott's DJ, like just fucking killing it. So, and he comes to Art Basel every year. So they went all out for him this year, and they just had a phenomenal Louis Vuitton show for him yesterday, which was Tuesday, November 30th. So at least we didn't have to wait he got his flowers while he was here, but it was nice that it was like an immediate, like, yo, let's just go fucking all out for the show and like give Virgil his flowers so the entire world could see. So at least from a timing perspective, I'm glad it was able to be like that immediate. Dude, the guy achieved so much, it's fucking insane. Like there's pictures of him because he was part of a Kanye like tree, or like, you know, him, Kanye, Don C, Jerry Lorenzo, like, dude, they used to be like intern Louis Vuitton when they were like in their mid-20s, bro. So in like 15 years, this guy literally changed the game of fashion and fucking sneakers, like, and art, to be honest. So like, it's just wild that like someone can do that. And then also, I think it's also inspiration for people like us or whoever. Like, yo, like this shit can change quickly. Like, bro, you could be that guy just sketching on your own Nikes, and then 10 years later, be the head of Nike essentially with your creative ideas, right? So that's inspiring. But then again, like, how many more years do we have ahead of us? Which is like, again, the terrifying balance that you'll have to do. But I think it also, he was like the rare thing like Kanye, which I think is why we all like, one of the reasons we love him so much is that, dude, a Renaissance man. Like, it's not like, yo, you're a fucking sneaker designer, only do that. Or it's like, you're a DJ. It's like, nah, bro, I'm gonna do everything. And you may like it, you may not like it, but I'm just gonna do it because I think it's fucking cool to me. So that's probably one of the most impressive things, right? Because for us, it's like, yo, you're a corporate guy, I'm a corporate guy, you guys get degrees, like, just do your job, be happy. It's like, nah, bro, I want to make music, I want to do a podcast, I want to invest in some property, like, let's fucking go. Like, why can't I do that shit, right? So I think that's also was something inspiration. I think probably would be one of his, longest lasting legacies of like, oh, this guy just did everything and also did it to a fucking extreme standard, bro. Like, if it was a Virgil thing, like, that thing was it for that time period, which is insane. That's honestly been that way for at least the last like 6 years.
Yeah, 100%. I was just really inspired too to see like a darker skinned guy infiltrate a space that's like notoriously
like an
white.
African man. This guy, he's like not like I know that's in South America. Guyanese, like, is it Guyanese?
I can check.
He's from I know he's Ghana American. That's what I don't know how you like if you're from there. But yeah, he's Ghana American. But yeah, like again, that's a fucking black man. But there's no
not someone who can like kind of pass it as white in certain environments and shit. Objectively a black man from like the root of our history or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's just super dope. And the amount of respect he had, like, I can't recall any like negativity around his name. It seemed like a genuine person who just like,
dude, the only negativity
was authentic.
the Pop Smoke thing was bad, and I don't want to steal Flagrant 2's joke because like he's probably on his fucking like chemo fucking bed trying to make that happen. But the negative, because side story, like, so he's actually, there's a skate group store called Andrew downtown in Miami. So one of the guys who runs that is not a close, but someone I know from like DJ parties and stuff like that. So during the whole like Black Lives Matter movement, like when at the core of it, during the pandemic last year, he posted a thing like, yo, just donate $50. Like, he put on a story, and then we'll start bailing people out who are getting arrested from the protest. So Virgil sees it because he's boys with him and says, all right, here's $50. And they fucking destroy them. Like, bro, you should be donating 5,000. He's like, bro, like, he only asked for 50. Like, what do you want? So, like, stupid shit like that, the internet just like loves to fucking jump on.
Yeah, I think I remember that now that you brought it up. I always think it's fucked up when people judge celebrities on how much they donate or spend to these causes, knowing damn well the people complaining probably didn't even donate $1.
And bro, like, and the fact that he had to like respond and say, bro, like, I'm a black man. You know how many other things I'm doing to help the cause? And like, you're mad about this? Like,
and then if you promoted them, they'd be like, oh, you're just doing this for the gram.
You're doing it for clout. What's wrong with you? Yeah.
What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I do find it weird though when celebrities will be like, I don't know, like their cousin's baby mama like wants to hold a funeral for her son, and they're like, you donate to this GoFundMe, and the goal is like $3,000. I'm like, you definitely could just have fronted the money for this. Like, you're
I feel that. I think Kylie got pushed back for that one. I feel that one as well. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, dude, universally loved. But the music part was amazing to me because I saw him perform 3 times. Once at Art Basel, once at Astro World. But the best time was definitely with you, because that was just like a full. I mean, we were the element. We had, we were drinking. We had vibes going. At Coachella was like day 2, and like he had like one of the tents, like the smaller
tent. I remember that.
But to himself, and like even remember he was like, "Yo, welcome to week 2. You guys are the real fans. Like, only the influencers come on week 1." I was like, let's fucking go. Let's dance. But then it was a crazy set, bro. He was playing shit from like Waka Flocka, Hard in the Paint to like a fucking French like house song. Like, it was just an amazing genre that all made sense. Like, it wasn't just like he wasn't a poser DJ, right? 'Cause at some point, like, there's people who are just rich and will tell Coachella, like, yo, here's the money, I'm gonna perform. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't that. This guy, like, honestly loved the music. So that was a cool thing to see firsthand. Because that's probably the most intimate I ever felt. Like, yeah, this guy actually is like fucking about this life. It's not just like another thing to say, oh, I'm also a DJ. It's like, no, dude, I love DJing, but I also make, do fashion and sneakers and sculptures and all that shit too.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the highlights for me too. I remember when we got to the tent.
I vividly remember that set. Like, that's, like, we saw like a lot of shit those 3 days. Like, that one, I was like, yeah, that was like a moment.
Yeah, I remember I was talking to you. I was like, what the fuck? Like, he DJs? Like, that's how little I knew about it. And I was blown away too, because in my mind, I didn't know like he had DJing roots. So I was like, oh, he designs clothes and stuff. And then like happened to like, this is like his passion on the side or some shit. But like when I heard this set, I was blown away. I was like, this is actually really good. To your point, it wasn't some cookie cutter set where he's just playing top 40. Like, he had obscure songs.
It was like, I think maybe 1 or 2 songs that like everyone knew, but the other shit was like, yeah, like he's going through catalogs to like make this work. So like, you have to appreciate that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a bummer that he had to pass.
Super bummer, dude. 41 years old, way too young. But again, I know this is about my mom who passed away at 55, but at 54. But again, if you can achieve the things that he achieved by 41, and again, we never know when our time is, but hey, that's a good way to go out at 41. So rest in peace to Virgil. Salute to his family and friends who are going through it. But again, the legacy will live on forever. So definitely rest in peace to him. And again, more tragic news. This one felt different too, just because the way the year started for us, bro. Like, I really remember around February or March, we were like, man, the music scene sucks right now. Nothing's dropping. Like, when the fuck is Drake coming out? And then we both got exposed to the Young Dolph and Key Glock, Dumb and Dumber 2 mixtape, and like became like adamant fans like that moment. You know what I mean? Like, at least I feel like that's how I don't think either of us were really like playing his shit before then, right?
Not really. There was like 1 or 2 songs, and like I knew of him, but it wasn't like, oh, when's the next tape coming out?
Right. It was 100%. Exactly. I knew 100 shots. I knew Get Paid. And then I knew he got shot up a bunch of times. Like, that's all I know about. Like, because I was still living in Charlotte when he got shot up in Charlotte. I was at the barbershop. They were like, yeah, we gotta fucking check in. I'm like, or you could just like let him come and perform here, bro. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? But yeah, tragically enough, right before the Thanksgiving break, he was shot and killed in his hometown of Memphis while he was visiting. He actually was going to hand out turkeys the following day. And I think the most tragic part, he was supporting a local business buying cookies, bro. So like, that's like the scary part as well. Like, one, it's sad a 36-year-old was killed in his hometown, but you can't even fucking support your like a local business, dog. Like, that's just like, this one was like sad in multiple ways. I think more people like kind of like are depressed by Virgil because like it's sad, but like at the end of the day, like you die from natural causes. The idea of someone taking your life when you're just at home trying to get back, like that's the shit that fucking just like, bro, a punch to the fucking dick, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. But in a weird way, I'm like I was more surprised by Virgil's just because like Dolph had the history of attempts on his life, him being a street rapper. Not that I was like, oh, this is 100% gonna happen, but like after the fact, I'm like, okay, like I could see how this was a possibility, whereas Virgil was just like random as hell for me. Just because it's like we had no idea he had cancer. It wasn't like he was all of a sudden skinny, kind of like how Chadwick was or anything. At least I didn't see any pictures of that.
Bro, so I was gonna say this, but again, it's fine. We just gave him a great tribute, I think, for like 10 minutes. But dude, there were a couple pictures that I think he was probably going through chemo and like had makeup on. Because there were a couple of fashion shows where like he didn't have the beard anymore, and like it was odd. Like, thankfully the comments weren't wild or anything. I was just like, it was just me personally, like and then when I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Like, because there was like a fashion show, like I think right before the pandemic in Paris, and he was like right next to Drake. I'm like, is that Virgil? Like, he looks kind of off. No pun intended. But like, yeah, like I saw because he shaved his beard. But yeah, he probably was going right through chemo at the time. So again, salute to him for again. It's just a while for him and Chadwick. Like the amount of work they put in while they're literally dying. Like that's crazy. Like that's wild to me.
Yeah, it's It is crazy. And I've had friends who've dealt with like various uh health related complications and conditions, and obviously their priority is getting well. They're not necessarily managing uh quite as much, and for good reason. Like, health comes first. But it's wild that these guys are like, fuck it, I'm still gonna do like 5 movies and
Right.
go to these 10 award shows and all this shit, just keep it running. And maybe it has to do with like them not wanting to give any clues to the public, or like
Yeah,
convince themselves their life
we don't know
is
the situation,
ending.
but it also might be that I think they I don't know about Chadwick, because again but it seems like from the reports on this one, it was clear from the beginning that this was terminal for Virgil. And it kind of, you like, again, I'm not a fucking detective, but if you look at the captions of people who actually knew him like the Drakes, the Don C's, the Jerry, like the people who like in his circle, like if you look at their caption, it wasn't like, oh my God. It was like, bro, like, I'm glad you're at peace. So like, I think from the moment he found out, I think it was kind of clear it was going to be terminal.
Yeah. I mean, that gives me faith in some of these celebrities, because you would think that news would easily spread and find its way to like TMZ or something. So the fact
100%.
that there's definitely stand-up people who are like, this is not some gossip shit that can leak, like, a dick pic or something. It's
no
someone's
one can find
life
out about this
and
until
legacy.
he fucking says, let the people, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Dolph. So I see your point though. Yeah, like again, he's been shot up twice, barely survived the one he had in LA. But I don't know, man, I think this one hit hard. We were talking offline about it when you were in London, I think. Like, we were just such fans recently. So I was like, oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how are you taking Dolph from us, man? Like,
Right.
Especially because, like, everything we hear, like, phenomenal businessman, completely fucking independent, making millions, putting people on. You're like, bro, why are we taking him, bro? Like,
And I think it's because not the reason he was taken, but I think the reason why a lot of people like him and Nipsey tend to like navigate in their hometowns without security is because like when 99% of the people you run into like want to hug you and take pictures and shit, like the last thing on your mind is like someone trying to take your life.
Yeah.
Let alone at a fucking cookie shop or whatever. So in his mind, he's probably like, I'll be good. If I'm not, like, I'll at least have time to react or whatever.
But apparently he had bodyguard in a car outside.
Oh,
and like,
for real?
I think they started shooting at that car, and then he didn't have time to get out the car.
Damn.
And then that's when they started shooting at Dolph.
So unfortunate. And it's tough too, because you like, I hate to, after someone has passed, talk about the possibilities of like, if they had done something to deserve it or whatever.
Right.
But like when it comes to the streets, in my mind, I'm like, were these people that like this person may have robbed in the past or like shot at or some shit? Because if that is let's say the person who did this hypothetically, like, he robbed for like 200,000 or like shot his brother or some shit, or like, I don't know. Then it's almost like the narrative changes a little bit, and you're like, okay, like I could see how this would happen. And I hate feeling that way because, then you feel like you're picking sides, and are you doing this just because of the music? And then where do the morals lie? Because then you go back and listen to some of these artists' songs, and they'll rap about certain things. And I'm like, well, fuck, like this isn't like a good look. Not to say he's responsible.
Yeah, no, but I feel that one, dude. Like I obviously, like everyone else, like I'm surprised. Like it was obviously the holidays, so they didn't put the numbers out, but I'm sure all his albums were charting after that shit, bro. Because I wasn't the only one who took a deep dive in his fucking catalog, and I was listening to Rich Slave, and bro, like those lyrics are like, you're like, damn, bro, like. Because all he's talking about is fucking shooting people, right? And like, or if you try me, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna get you taken care of. You're like, fuck, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I feel you. Like, this could have been something premeditated. Like because he actually didn't live in Memphis anymore. He lived in Atlanta, but he was just in town for that situation for Thanksgiving. But this could have been a premeditated thing. Like, the next time I catch you in Memphis, it's on. You know what I mean? So again, it just sucks though, bro. Because again, I think we both took a deep dive in like different interviews. Like, he's such a fucking like chill dude. There was one on the Breakfast Club, like in the midst of quarantine. And he's like, bro, I'm fucking loving life. Yo, I'm at home. I fucking hate everyone outside. Like, I'm with my wife and my kids, and like, I'm about to drop this album. It just seems like someone's so content. And it's like, man, I don't know, it just sucks, bro. Like, and it's just like, because he just seemed like one of the good ones. But again, it's a certain levels. Like, I know I'm not trying to compare the dead, but like, I think he probably even had more of an impact than maybe Nipsey did in some kind of weird way. Because it just seems like someone from the South isn't meant to have the kind of success he was having, right? Like, people can say LA's been more on the map for longer, blah, blah, blah. Like, Nipsey he had more cosigns for people in the industry. Whereas it seems like Young Dolph really was just fucking by himself and Gucci Mane. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? So that part just fucking also sucks.
Yeah. The moment I recognized the level of his popularity was in like 2017 or 2018. My brother and I were going to Rolling Loud, and we booked an Uber, a shared one. And the Uber picked up these two white girls who were like 16 or 17. And like, as soon as they got in the car, they like demanded the aux put on Dolph. Like, I never heard this song before. They were rapping every lyric. They said nigga like 20 times.
They didn't give a fuck.
They didn't give a fuck. They rapped this shit like Dolph was their minister or something.
Oh my God, it's great.
And I was just like, I mean, obviously I was shocked, but at the same time I was like, damn, like Dolph really impacted the hip hop game in ways that like I was unaware of. Kind of like NBA Youngboy, like how we
I'm still on the fucking loop. And he's been on Academics page all week, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand.
And kudos to him, but like, it's one of those things where you're like, damn, they clearly are doing things that other people are noticing, and he was one of those guys for sure.
100%, dude. Kind of like what we spoke about, like what I enjoyed about, I think, Night Ride that you dropped, that like the simplicity of the lyrics, but the impact of it all. Like, bro, because his lyrics are simple, but like, yo, you feel that shit. Like, yo, on 100 shots, like, you feel that. On that song he has with fucking, with Megan Thee Stallion, R&B, bro, that shit's like a banger, you know what I mean? But the lyrics are just so simple. So like, someone who's a minimalist, but like still so impactful, and then clearly live that life, but like, forget the violence part of it, like the money aspect of it, bro. Like, when he was talking about like the money and the cars, like, bro, he legit had that shit because he obviously owned everything. So all the money coming in, he just fucking kept. I was seeing a thing that right before Rich Slave dropped, he did like a fucking like a raffle for his fans. Like, if you could name the lyric on this song after this minute, I'm gonna give you my fucking Lambo. And he did. And he just pulled up and gave this girl. I'm like, dude, what? Like, who the fuck are you, bro? Like, so like, yeah, man, it just sucks. He seemed like a pretty fucking great artist. And again, super inspiring, bro. Like, you come from fucking trash conditions to make yourself a self-made millionaire. Like, that's phenomenal.
100%.
Dude, but also what I hate is that he had the last collab album for his album, Paper Trail, like the Illuminati. Like, I think it was like Paper Trail Illuminati. And like, there was already YouTube videos saying that he was sacrificed. I was like, bro, what the fuck are we doing right now? Like, no. Like, so this Memphis rapper was not sacrificed to Illuminati. Like, I can guarantee you this.
Right. Before we went to Colombia, I listened to that album and I noticed that imagery, and like, I was like, man, Dolph, like, I don't know if this was like a marketing thing or what, but as soon as he died, all day. As soon as he died, I'm like, I thought of that cover art, and I'm like, here we go again, like the fucking GTA Grand Theft Auto meme or whatever. I was just like, come on, man. Like, there's gonna be so many fucking TikToks talking about how, you know, he was gonna expose this industry and do all this shit.
No, he was just trying to be fucking funny about it, bro. Like, that's
right. Like, it's funny how when people like this, who clearly are tied to the streets and have like enemies due to jealousy and envy, die, like, it can never be, oh, they just got caught slipping. But it's not like this ever happens to a rapper like Jaden Smith or fucking Childish Gambino, knock on wood. It always happens to the people that have some sort of ties to the people that want to do harm, and people just for whatever reason want to feel like there's a greater reason that is avoidable. Like, I guess it's scary to realize how random death can be. Like, you can just go to the grocery store and fucking get shot.
Right. Yeah, so but what are your, okay, we've been talking about this for how long now, bro? I think we've been doing this pod for almost 2 years now, which is crazy. But the idea of like this keeps happening in hip hop culture, like, and it doesn't, like, I hope it stops. Like, I hope this is the last one, but unfortunately it seems like it's not going to be. So like what are your thoughts that this keeps happening to the people we look up to the most?
I think for me, I've just been trying to find like a reason and analyze the patterns and see if, is this just because social media is more prevalent that we're hearing about it more, or is it actually happening more? And I feel like it is happening more because in my childhood, I don't recall it's happening very much. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that it's much easier to become like a prominent rapper. So like quote unquote regular people who may not be taking it quite as seriously, have other behind the scenes things going on that are more likely to result in death. And by that I mean, I feel like a lot of these rappers like him are like more businessmen who happen to rap, or like drug addicts who happen to fucking make music.
Got you.
And then that's leading to these natural or expected situations that other musicians in the past wouldn't necessarily be involved in. I feel like in the past, like if you were doing music, that's like all you fucking had time to do, and you weren't gonna get involved in the shit. Whereas now it's like the drug dealer's like, fuck it, I'll throw a song on SoundCloud and like, I'll be famous and I'll still fucking sell drugs. And then they get shot, and then we're like, oh shit, like what happened?
They were still doing the same shit they were doing before. Yeah. It's hard for them to lead that life. Yeah, dude. I mean, and also like I think just like there's a thing of I think a jealousy that comes from like our people, to be honest, bro. Like I don't think that the normal average, I mean, not to be racist, but like that the average white person who loves pop music or country music has. You know what I mean? Like if I'm the average white guy and I see Harry Styles performing, I'm not envious of what he has. You know what I mean? Like I'm like happy for him and I'm just a fan. Whereas it's weird, like if I'm the average dude from Memphis and I've seen Young Dolph come up and I'm like, he's just like me. But why the fuck is he on top? And I don't have shit. Like, fuck him. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild how, like, our people have that mentality at times. Again, like you said, it could be 1%. But, bro, that 1% is still fucking massive. And it only takes one fucking person to, like, end something for you, bro. So I think there's something to it that, like, all these people seem to die when they come back home or when they're home, right? Like, except for Pop Smoke, again, we don't know what exactly happened with him in LA, which is probably even more tragic. Like I think he was only in LA to get away from shit in Brooklyn. But like Nipsey was fucking in front of his storefront, shot and killed. I remember this guy named fucking Stack Bundles was living in Harlem, shot and killed. This guy doesn't live in Memphis anymore, visiting a fucking local cookie store, shot. It's like, damn, like why does it have to be the hometown that takes them out? And it's like, bro, like if I can't feel safe here, then really no fucking rapper feels safe anywhere then. Which is so stupid because I don't like Diplo's not fucking walking around with 3 bodyguards and like, fearing for his life. My man's fucking diving into crowds and, walking down the streets of Wynwood like it ain't shit because yeah, man, it's just a different time. But again, and with your point, like these people with envy are also everyone on social media. They can actually see exactly where the fuck you're at all the time. Like, I'm sure it's not a coincidence that, he posted a month ago that he was at that cookie store and they knew when he would probably stop by there the next time he goes to town. Like, that wasn't a fucking coincidence.
Yeah. And it could have been as easy as maybe the day after one of them went in there pretending like they didn't know Dolph. And they're like, oh, like, I heard Dolph came here. Like, that's so dope. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, and then the person might have been like, oh, he comes here like every first Sunday or some shit.
Yeah. He's always here in his town. He's in town. Yeah. 100%, man. So, yeah, dude, fucking tragic. Again, I totally agree with your point. Like, it becomes even more tragic when you start listening to their lyrics, and then it's like, oh, bro, like, it's one thing if he was like a choir boy, you know what I mean?
Because like every time this happens, like I go back and listen to the catalog, and then I hear like, unfortunately, lyrics that would be spoken by the suspect. Like it's the rapper saying, oh, like, try me and you're gonna get smoked.
Yep.
Or like, if you try me, like, your mama's gonna be crying, or like something like that, and it hurts even more because I'm like, damn, that's literally exactly what happened to you.
Yeah, dude. When I hear there's one pop song, Smoke is like, yo, clap back, don't stop shooting. And it's just like, damn.
And to send me the Addy shit, like literally.
That's what happened. Yeah, bro. Like it's dude, tragic, man. So I mean, it might be a mixture of them getting smarter and leaving that shit behind, but there's just something about hip hop culture, bro. Like if you're not in that circle, there's so many people more envious of you than like actually trying to propel you to be bigger, which kind of sucks, bro. Like it's like, why have a SoundCloud? Why I'm not popping? It's like, all right, bro, you're probably not talented. Like I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I also wonder if people try these dudes like knowing that if they fail or whatever, they're not going to go to the authorities. Because like, you know, if you were trying to fuck with Jaden Smith, the FBI would have your ass like the next day. But if you're trying to fuck with Gucci Mane or some shit, best case scenario, you rob him. Worst case, you end up dead. But you're not going to jail. You're
not going to jail. The consequence, I feel you. And if you are going to try him, like you're probably already prepared to die. You're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, I feel you. So, dude, real quick, just to get off this like really depressing topic, the first like half an hour of this. Your thoughts though on like the Soulja Boy aspect of this, and like him wilding on IG Live, showing no remorse, and to give you a story, I think 2 or 3 days before Young Dolph was gunned down in Memphis, I guess Key Glock had a pretty cool poster or like a VR kind of setup in Times Square. And I think they both posted, Key Glock and Young Dolph, first rapper to have this kind of billboard in Times Square. And then obviously Soulja Boy chimed in, and then like they had a whole IG Live battle back and forth, him and Dolph. At one point, legit like Soulja Boy grabbed money and said, yo, fuck around, I'll put like 100K on your head. And like, obviously no one really thought that was gonna happen. And then it just so happened he died 2 days later. He got removed from the tour that was gonna go through Memphis. But then like when people were like hitting him up on IG and like, yo, like that's wild, like you feel bad, the way he tripled down, like, yo, fuck that nigga, like, he ain't shit. If it was me, I'd be happy. And I'm like, that was just weird to me, dog. So like your whole interpretation of that.
I don't want to use the word respect, but I do appreciate when celebrities don't show fake love. But at the same time, I think it's tacky to I'm pretty sure Soulja Boy had nothing to do with this murder, but I think it's tacky to be so caught up in how he could capitalize on it from like a marketing standpoint and be like, fuck it. Like, I know I didn't do it. So therefore I have all the power to make it seem like I did it. Drop this song called, Stack on Your Head or whatever the fuck it was called. And then just pretend like he actually killed him. Especially like this quickly after it all happened. Like it just shows you that a lot of these people don't have like respect or morals.
Yeah, but it's one thing that this is like some stupid Memphis rapper. Bro, like Soulja Boy is like almost like pretty well loved across the industry. And it's like, bro, you're probably the biggest you've been since you came out like 10 years ago. Like I just didn't see the need for this approach, right? Like I thought that whole Young Draco shit was like a fucking funny little thing. But like I don't think anyone actually believed he was like about that life.
Yeah.
So like that was weird, bro. And like again, like I agree with you. Like, yo, don't like if me and you have beef, don't fucking post a picture of like, damn, bro, I wish we fucking figured it out before you. Nah, bro. Like it's cool. Like just don't say anything. But my thing is like, if you legit hate someone, there's no need to go on Instagram Live and tell the world, like, yeah, fuck it. Because it feels like you're legit pissing on their grave. Like, bro, let the dead just rest, bro. Like, again, if you don't say anything, bro. Like, don't acknowledge it. That's fine. But to fucking double down and, like, a family's mourning, a city's devastated, it's like, bro, like, that just seemed like a very odd look for me. Like, honestly, from that moment, bro, I unfollowed him, bro. I was done with his ass. I am done with him. Because, like, that shit just, like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, bro, I don't see the need for any of this because it's all just show. Like, it's all show. Like he's like, yo, I dare one of y'all to pull up. I got fucking 6 shoes ready to go. I'm like, bro, why are you snitching on yourself, bro? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, so, yeah, that just fucking, I don't know. It just felt like, it felt immature, but fam, you're like 30. So, like, you're 31. Like, there's no need for any of this.
Yeah. For me, like, I kind of see him in a similar light to Tekashi, where, like, I don't expect a whole lot more. than this behavior, because like Soulja Boy, I don't think he really trolls so much as he does as he does exaggerate like him being the best, him being the first to do this, fuck everybody else. And I think he took that like persona or whatever too far and just like kept that same energy at the wrong time. And not that it makes it right, because I'm sure like most of it is just like an entertainment thing for him. But I feel like for me, I like from certain artists or celebrities, I don't like expect to have any class really. Like even when I see some of Soulja Boy's interviews, I'm like looking for a moment to be like, this is the real Soulja Boy. Like I feel like at all times he's always this like character. I'm like, okay, like I wouldn't be surprised if he literally pissed on his grave and like posted it.
Like everything has to be like a viral moment for him. It can't just be like a normal fun.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that, bro. Like, I totally agree with that. But that's also what I really like got me enamored with fucking Young Dolph after going through his videos, like interviews. Like, yo, he's mad fucking quiet. It's like a fucking like legit like a shy dude. Like on the Drink Champs interview he had that was like 2 years ago, bro. Like he only had one drink. And like really didn't even want to look at the camera, but still kept dropping gems because I just he's like a fucking very knowledgeable person. So like, yeah, it just sucks that like again, bro, kudos to him. Like Soulja Boy's like doing very well for himself financially, but it just, honestly it also seemed like he was just fucking high out of his mind. Like he's always rolling joints, he's always fucking drinking.
That could have been it too.
It could have been that too as well. Like the ego at the best of him, but it's just weird. Like bro, like again, you don't have to say I'm sorry for his family, I'm sorry for his loss, because again, this guy also threatened you 3 days earlier. But I don't really see if you're not gonna say anything nice, bro, don't say anything, bro. Like no one's asking you for an apology, just like don't say anything. Like, hey, no comment on that. You know, it is what it is.
And the sad thing is, even if he did sincerely apologize, like I feel like whatever street dudes he pissed off like are still gonna want to hurt him, at the very least beat his ass if it's not like murder. It's hip hop's like, this is like the ugly part of hip hop. It's not just us. Once
like,
you cross that line.
It's not just us reviewing fucking fire music and just saying, damn, this one really was like a nice soundtrack to my week. It's like, bro, these guys are actually trying to like find ways to like end people's lives, like not just careers. Like that's just weird.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like the energy you give off, like in terms of, even if you're not like a rapper with ties to the streets, let's say you're like a YBN Namir who like raps about like literally shooting people and shit, but apparently doesn't have any history of like actually doing that shit or being tied to a gang. I feel like people are gonna try that person, but like you're not gonna get cool points for fucking with DJ Academics, like beating his ass. Why would you do that? Like he's not.
Same thing with like Jaden and Tyler. It's like no one's fucking playable. Like you know what I mean? Like they're just like, why? Why would you? You know what I mean? But again, they're not rapping about it. You know what I mean? Like they never admit, they're never like trying to boast something they're not. So again, to your point, it's the energy you put out. Like, bro, it's not realistic to talk about shit. And then like when you're tested, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So again, shitty situation. Again, rest in peace to Young Dolph. Definitely lost it. I think he's in hindsight, bro, I think he is like a legend. I think he's go down as a legend, bro. Like 36 years old, and dude, how big that fucking empire was becoming at Paper Route. Like, bro, that sucks, man. So definitely salute to him and his team. I guess a pretty cool situation, something more positive. That I think we actually kind of called this at some point during the Donda and CLB beef. Like, I feel like this is all fake. Probably gonna put a show on together, and then lo and behold, Larry Hoover took Kanye as a hostage, and now we have a concert by Kanye and Drake. So, but besides that, tell people about the concert, but also cool fact, Blair's actually going to the concert. So let the people know about it, and obviously your excitement or not excitement for it.
Yeah, so Kanye and Drake aligned forces to put on this charity concert for Larry Hoover to free, with his son, to free Larry Hoover. So I'll be attending next week in LA, the LA Coliseum, which should be super
by
dope.
yourself, or you have a group going?
Going with my two brothers, Nicky and Corey. So
nice.
That'll be a dope experience. Never seen Drake live. I did see Kanye live for the Watch the Throne, or no, was it Watch the Throne? Life of Pablo, I think it was called, the tour. but he like stormed off like halfway through, like just unannounced, was like,
of course,
I'm leaving just because I want to. I was like, what the fuck? Fortunately, it was paid for by like a work rep, but I haven't had a proper Kanye show, so I'm excited for
even
this.
Like the Sunday service and like the kids he goes, there were sets. It wasn't like a show.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. So yeah, super excited for that. I still find myself wondering whether or not the beef was fake, or if this was like Jay Prince like holding Kanye hostage and making him like stop fucking with Drake's money or whatever. But regardless, I'm happy to see them like squash whatever bullshit drama was going on, if it did exist.
Yeah, again, all we can do is say things face value, bro. You don't want to be these fucking like conspiracy theorists and all that shit, but like if it really just became like Jay Prince pulling them both aside saying, guys, this is fucking pointless, like that's amazing. I would prefer that than like them like texting like, yo, let's fucking pretend to hate each other for like 3 years, and then like they're gonna think I fucked your wife and then you're gonna go crazy. Like that seems awful, bro. So I hope the beef was real, and then it came to like it got squashed in a very chilled way. The scenery that they all pulled up to Drake's house, fucking Dave Chappelle, Kanye, like that seemed genuine. So again, man, and this is the future. Hopefully it's real. Hopefully it lasts. But yeah, bro, I think you're gonna be in tune for a pretty great show, man. Because I think they're both coming off a pretty great year, right? Like CLB finally dropped, and it got some accolades, maybe not as much as we anticipated because of the hype. But then I think Kanye's honestly having a great year, because I think Donda has aged very well, and it's just showing people like, yo, this guy is really a great musician, even if the raps aren't that good. So yeah, I think you're in for a great show. I just wonder. So that's why I'm glad you're going to be there. Do you think he's going to do like any non-Christian music?
That's what I was going to bring up. I was like, I hope he mixes in some of his older content. I hope Drake has a chance to like shine and do like somewhat of a proper show, even if it's for like 20 minutes. But I feel like
it's more than 20 minutes, but I feel like they're both going to have almost like hour sets. Like,
okay, I hope that's the case. I feel like Kanye's so unpredictable. I hope he doesn't fucking have Drake's name all over the concert, and Drake does like way too sexy and dips out or something.
Nah, dude, I think it'll be like an hour set at least, or 45 minutes each. But because the thing is, like, I remember when he first became super religious, he was like, yo, no more, I'm not playing any of my, like, he legit said that, remember? We were doing like Jesus King review. But then, like, if you see him on Drink Champs, like, it seems like he's now like more balanced. Like, yo, I'm gonna talk my shit, curse, drink, smoke, but I'm still a Christian at my core. You know what I mean? So I hope that's the case. But again, like on the Donda Deluxe, he did remove throat goats off the fucking album, like that lyric. So again, I don't know where his head's at, which no one ever does. But yeah, I really hope you hear some fucking classics, like, yo, graduation shit, Jesus Walks, like that'd be a fucking moment.
For sure. This is a stupid ass pun, but when you said you don't know where his head's at and he got rid of throat goats, I thought of the fact that he's not getting head anymore, so he took out the lyric.
Oh, I think he's definitely getting head from somebody. That's also a weird look, bro. Him in like that whole like
begging.
Like, I think he's
Kim
having
back.
a great year, but like the way he's begging Kim back, like that's also kind of weird.
That too, I'm like, is that shit fake? Because it's weird that celebrities, like, he clearly could fucking text her, and he's on like Twitter, like riling up the public.
Like,
yeah, TMZ and all that.
But yeah, I don't know, bro. But yo, Pete Davidson got to be swinging some crazy dick, bro. Because yo, there ain't no celebrity he can't take down. Like, bro,
I know. For at this point, like, you just would want, if you're a female celebrity, you'd want the clout. Like,
just to know, like, yo, what does he have, bro? Because this is insane. Because yo, Ariana Grande, like, to say you fucked Ariana Grande and Kim Kardashian in the same life is wild, bro. Like, wild. So yeah, shout out to fucking Pete Davidson. All right, man. What else? I think you wanted to bring up the French Montana saying rap's harder than the NBA.
Yeah, I saw that it was controversial. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that people don't consider him like the best rapper. So probably like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sure if J. Cole or Drake said it, this wouldn't be that big of a topic. But I think it was more so like making it and maintaining relevancy. And I think I do agree with this statement. Obviously, like with basketball, you know, it requires a lot of effort and everything, but I think there's much more of a guideline to like being a good basketball player. Like,
yeah,
you can easily train someone to fucking do it.
Yeah. There's basketball
but I can't
coaches.
teach you like how to be a good rapper, right? Yeah. You could be like, these are the fundamentals of rap and shit, but like when it comes to coming up with song concepts and having an image and keeping your fans engaged and shit, like I feel like that stuff is way harder to crack than people give even mumble rappers credit for. Like, as a musician myself, I look at some of these guys who like a lot of people would say suck or whatever, but they're still doing something very well in terms of like packaging their content and stuff. And we could say the same for like other podcasts. Like,
yeah,
we might be like, this shit is boring, but they're doing something right.
They're doing crazy numbers. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think I agree with the fact that rap is a lot more difficult than people would like to think. People just assume like, oh, you made a couple lullabies that everyone's reciting. It's not that hard. These guys are muscular, tall men who are fucking breaking backboards and stuff. So therefore it's automatically more difficult.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, dude. Yeah, because there's like shooting coaches, bro. So like, they can literally see that your form is off and just say, hey, shoot like this. Like, there's no like rap coach, like you said, like, hey, like, you're not hitting these lyrics hard enough. Go, like, what are you gonna teach me, bro? Like, if I don't have it, I don't have it, kind of a thing. And also in basketball, you have like a certain shelf life, right? So like, people in basketball know, hey, if I'm gonna be a star, I may at best have like 8 years in this shit, right? Whereas there's no reason when you come out as a 24-year-old rapper, you should stop rapping by 20 or by 30. It's like you have to, it's way harder to maintain for 10, 15, 20 years because it's like, fuck, dude, like, what am I gonna rap about? You know what I mean? So yeah. I actually agree with that statement, but it's just funny that French is like in the headlines right now for like not all the wrong reasons, but like, I think, and I'm going back to your point from like a couple of weeks ago when we were like, when he was like talking about like all the features and like he clapped back, but like the week before, like Academics had that thing where it was like, you know, showing off his hits. I do think that he's behind all these different talking points, him being French, because the music itself, bro, isn't good. Like, and I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. Like, I listened to Amnesia, bro. It's just not good. Like, it's not. Like, it's like, and I actually was excited for it because, like, I actually enjoyed when he dropped that mixtape last year, Coke Boy 5, and it had like all the features, but like, it was a mixtape, so it's fine, bro. Like, this thing, whatever he's trying to do, fam, it ain't it, bro. Like, it's not. And I'm not saying he's a bad artist. It's just he's not a body of work artist, bro. Like, we're gonna talk about Spotify in a minute, but like, yo, we're seeing all these people who just focus on singles are making a phenomenal living. I just feel like he like needs to remove the ego from it, bro. Come out with 2 smashes a year, and then be happy with that, bro. Like, you trying to get my attention for 58 minutes, bro? That's why I think you're whack. Because it's like, bro, for 58 minutes, I was satisfied for 8. So, bro, like, the fuck? This is on you, bro. Like, you're telling me to consume this, and I'm like, yo, this is fake. This is fucking nasty. If you give me fucking 2 songs, 8 minutes or fucking 5 minutes, I'm like, bro, run that shit back, bro. But like, yeah, man, I don't know if you heard it yet because
I haven't,
bro.
But I've listened to a couple. I mean, with all this going on, there's a couple YouTube videos I saw kind of explaining this, and you could let me know your thoughts. But I think the challenge with French Montana and like earning his respect within the game is that a lot of people kind of see his work as like emotionless kind of cookie cutter commercial stuff. Like, there's no like identity to it, I guess you could say. Like, there's not a story that you're trying to get from it. It's kind of just like, let me flip this old 90s beat and make it like a club banger. But even then, like, it's kind of lackluster or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Again, but the motherfucker has hits. Like, I'm not denying that.
Oh, yeah,
like, the hits are fucking like, yo, like a catalog of hits, bro. Like, people would die to have some of his hits. But yeah, dude, like there's like, then his album's like 53 minutes long, bro. But like, yeah, there's a bunch of songs that, like, he's not just, I'm not like, it's not that I'm not believing it. I just don't, it's just like, okay, bro, like, yeah, man, you're the club again. Or you're trying to get back a bitch. Like, at some point, there has to be nuances the way you deliver that message, right? And it just seems like yeah, just like another fucking French Montana song. So yeah, like man, like try to listen. I mean, I legit like I was at the gym, bro, and I'm like, bro, if I didn't have this podcast, I would not listen to this shit. But like, just to say true to like what the fuck we're trying to do, I'm like, I gotta hear this shit. And like, bro, that first run, I was like, oh, I'm just so glad it's over, bro. I'm just so glad it's over.
Yeah, I gotta listen to it then. I did hear a couple songs. One of them I wasn't the biggest fan of. One of them I was like, oh, this actually sounds pretty good. Maybe the rest is good. But I haven't heard anyone like in the media space like praising it. Not that like that's the end all be all, but
no, but dude, it's something though, bro.
It means
like,
something. Though,
it means something,
to a
bro.
degree,
like,
at least.
Yeah. It means something. Like if your peers or what, like, come on, man. Like, and then I know we follow a page that like was trolling him, and they said he only sold like 800 records. I think that was just like actual copies, but no one sells anything anymore. But yeah, bro, the numbers aren't going to be good. Again, dude, shout out to French, bro. He has a great career. He's had a great career. I'm sure he still has plenty more hits ahead of him. But I personally think, especially after we had the whole West interview a couple months ago, like, or a month ago, like, bro, just focus on singles, bro. Like, you have the formula to make at least one or two phenomenal songs a year. Like, dude, especially now that everything is streams, like, bro, if people just stream that over and over again, you're still getting the bag regardless. So, like, I don't see this fucking, like, ego trip that, like, I have to put an album out. Like, no, you don't, bro. Like, no, you don't.
Right. Especially if you can show up to a festival and just perform, like, 7 dope singles and be out and make, like, 200,000 or whatever.
Bro, I legit think if you show up to any festival, he will have at least 10 songs to perform, and at least they will all be bangers. So, like, bro... Yeah, so again, shout out to him. Yeah, not trying to shit on the man, but like, yeah, like I really do think like it's convenient that like all the conversations about him are happening around this album drop, but no one's talking about the quality of the album because the quality of the album is not up to par whatsoever. So it kind of is what it is. All right, bro, before we dip, man, I want to talk to you about what's going on with the Blair Anthony movement. What songs are we working on? What are you planning to do before? I think it's already December 1st. We have 30 more days to figure this shit out. So what's the plan?
Yeah, so tomorrow, well, the listeners, this will have been yesterday, but as you're listening, I already have released my new song called Not Enough, available on all platforms. So just look it up, Blair Anthony. And the song itself is just about what it sounds like, feeling like you don't have enough, you maybe not have accomplished enough or done enough in whatever it is that you're pursuing. And I think about that within my own life a lot, whether it's just work, like you might have gotten a new job, but you're like, fuck, I need to reach this salary, or I need to accomplish this and get to the next level and have this new title. Or for me, like with music, you know, I have like 2 songs that did well by my standards, but I need to release fucking 20 more and get to this next level and, you know, do features and this, and even with the podcast, like, cool, we got 1,000 subscribers a year ago or whatever, but now we need 10,000 and 100,000. So I think that's a mindset everyone has in some way. So that's what the song is about. Definitely more upbeat than Thirst Trap. So really excited about this one. I have a couple more songs that I'm working on. They won't be released before the end of this year, but I'm trying to get as much recorded and done over the next couple months so that when I start off the year, I'll have like a good chunk of songs and won't have to like rush and scatter to get stuff out there. So that 2022 can be a much more like, okay, consistent. This is a serious, consistent thing.
God, that's amazing, dude. And then, so that's dropping this Thursday, right?
This Thursday, yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
And then how did you feel? Because obviously Spotify, December 1st, everyone's doing their Spotify wrapped up numbers, like, you know, posting, you know, who we listened to the most this year. Everyone was Drake, shocker. How did you feel like actually seeing like your music wrap up?
I thought it was dope. I was like, because before this, I was so accustomed to like getting excited about who my favorite artist was and this and that. And now like I have my own little profile and I don't really have, like, I went from 0 to this. So like regardless of what the numbers showed, I was like stoked just to see some random kid in fucking Germany or something was listening to my song. And that was my whole original goal, was just to make music, have people who I don't know
Right.
actually enjoy it and consider me like a real musician or whatever. So that was inspiring, and I think now, tie it back to the song "Not Enough." Like next year, I want the numbers to be double or triple or whatever the case is. Also, not trying to get too caught up in the numbers and being like, oh, I saw this other guy that I follow who has 100,000 streams. Therefore, like if I don't get that, then I'm a lame artist or whatever. Yeah.
No, there's a
But I think it's.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. No, I was gonna say. I think it still matters, but I don't want to get too caught up in it.
No, totally. And the comparison really is like the killer of all joy. 100%, bro. Like fam, I know, like having conversations with friends who live in Cali or in other places, they're complaining about the housing market, and it's like, man, like, like I don't have the $2 million to buy a dope house like this, and I'm like, I mean, my house isn't $2 million, but I love my house, bro, so I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I'm not trying to compare my situation to anyone, because like I'm super content with what it is, but I feel you. But yeah, there's definitely, because even we did it with the podcast, bro. Like, we've spoken multiple times offline. I'm like, bro, like our editing's better, our content's better. Like, bro, I know we're better than this fucking pod, but it's like we're just not there yet. But again, there's no need to compare. Like, when our time will come, right? But dude, I really think that tell me if I'm wrong, but if I were in your shoe, I think it'd probably feel dope to like, because at some point, right, like even with the merch for us, or when we first dropped the pod, like after a while, we know like our friends and family are gonna fall off, right? Or like we know they're always gonna be around. But the fact that like, the number, I didn't care about like the number of times people listen to your shit, but like the fact that 71 countries have listened to your music was wild to me, right? So that right there, that it's not just family and friends. Like this is like random as people. So like that had to be a good feeling, dude, because it's not just everyone in California, everyone in Florida. It's like the entire fucking world, bro.
Yeah, that's what's actually crazy, is because obviously I can see the Spotify analytics, and like most of the streams are in like I said, Germany or countries I haven't even like heard of. And that's super dope because, like you said, I mean, I haven't engaged with any of these people at all. I've gotten a few DMs from like random people in like Brazil who like a couple songs, and I think that's dope because like, even though I am not making a living off of it, the fact that like someone out there appreciates my art and it'll like forever exist is super dope. And I think that's why I really enjoy not only making the music, but doing this podcast, because down the line, I'm like, this shit will, assuming YouTube doesn't fucking disappear, or Spotify or any of these platforms, like it'll always exist. So even when I'm gone, like our faces and content and everything will still be around. And I think that's what gives me the motivation to like keep doing this kind of stuff.
Dude, totally, bro. Yeah, super proud of you, bro. Again, you started from zero. Now you have a baseline of what's possible. And then, yeah, dude, I think it's only going to go up and up next year, bro. So I'm excited for you, for sure, for that. For us, let's get to Heat of the Week then, and we'll jump into like what we got going on. So episode 93, Heat of the Week. What's a song that stood out to you during the Thanksgiving break?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't. I mean, I assume it has to do with the break. So I'm guessing a lot of artists were like, fucking, I'm going to eat turkey and not release shit and have to promote it. So I didn't find any new music. I can say what I had been listening to quite a bit during that time period. For me, I think the song that I was bumping quite a bit album was the Amine one. I know that was your Heat of the Week, either last week or the week prior.
In the week prior, yeah.
But I think in the mindset that I was in, which was a positive one, I just wanted something like feel good.
Yeah.
And I played Yippee Yippee and Van Gogh multiple times.
Oh, Van Gogh's fire, dude.
Van Gogh's fire as hell. And I don't know what you would call his, like, I feel like he's almost like a subgenre of hip hop. It's like real hip hop, but it has like alternative elements to it.
Apparently Spotify started like putting things in genres, right, for hip hop. Like I saw like melodic hip hop, melodic rap.
They have
Chicago
different
rap.
Categories, like West Coast and like from the mud. They even have like a category called like from the mud or some shit.
Yeah, that was interesting to me. But again, I'm just, you know, I don't have Spotify, so I'm just like observing like fucking, you know, like, oh my god.
Well, one day we'll put it on
I agree. He
business
definitely feels like he has like a subgenre of like it's not typical shit. But what I love about him, it's fucking believable. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just believable.
Mm-hmm. Same, and I think that I want to continue listening to artists like that. Not that I like in my music say anything that like I haven't done or lived, but when I listen to artists like him, it's a reminder to me like it's okay to like be vulnerable and say shit that isn't necessarily quote unquote cool. Like,
right.
Like it could be like, oh, I'm lonely and don't want to fuck with anybody, like, or something along
right. But
those lines.
there's always like, if you're an artist, there's always a nuance to saying that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that hook for what was the lead single? Charmander, whatever the Pokemon thing is, like you know, that hook is insane. It is just literally him saying, I want to be on an island by myself. But like the way like he delivers that is just like, dude, fucking run this back a million times, please.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think that's why I really appreciate him, and even in my own music want to incorporate those elements even more. And like you said, I believe it's how you deliver it and not necessarily what you're saying. You could preach like not doing drugs, but if you say it in a certain way, it'll come off as corny as shit. But you could say it in a clever, dope way and have it be meaningful and fun.
100% and memorable. 100%, dude. And side note, as of right now, those are my first tickets purchased for next year. I got Amine tickets. Me and my girl are gonna go see him in February down here, bro. So pretty excited. The setup's actually pretty intimate. It's where I went to see Black like 3 years ago. So like almost like a bar setting, but it's like the stage. There's like still a stage. Like it's pretty dope. So, but yeah, super intimate. So definitely excited just to be close to that whole vibe. But yeah, dude, similar to you, none of the new releases really did anything for me. Obviously not French Montana. I didn't listen to Adele, obviously. And I say obviously because like the album is about divorce. So I'm like, fam, like I'm in a really good knock on one space with my relationship. Like I'm not trying to hear this shit. You know what I mean? Like at all.
For sure, not me. That's the last thing I'm trying to listen to.
I'm like, bro, like I don't want to hear this shit right now. Like every female's like, I want to break up with my boyfriend just to listen to this and take it back. I'm like, nah, man, that's not how it works. But for me, I took a deep dive in Young Dolph's catalog. And dude, off the Rich Slave album, which was the album, he dropped 3 albums during quarantine. This was the first one. Came out last year. I never heard it until I went through it though, because again, it didn't really play him on the radio that much. R&B with Megan Thee Stallion. R&B stands for Rich Nigga Bitch. Bro, have you heard that song yet?
No, I haven't. I need to
Oh my God, bro. Like, fam. Like, this is shit you come out to your wedding to, bro. Like, it's just like, it is fucking fire, dog. Like, it's inspirational. Like, bro, it's so clever, so simple. Like, bro, phenomenal. So again, it's funny how, again, like, when I heard the interview on the Breakfast Club, they were talking about it. But it's like, yeah, like this shit wasn't on major playlists, you know what I mean? And this guy still was making a massive living off his music, bro. Yeah, but R&B was a great indicator of what Dolph was and obviously what he could have been. But if you want a fun song, aspirational, talk your shit, you know, flaunt your girl, kind of like, yo, R&B is it, dude. So yeah, definitely check out that on the Apple playlist.
Yeah, definitely will have to.
Yes, sir. All right, man, before we get out of here, I definitely want to let the people know what we got going on. We should have at least 2 interviews next week to end the year, but we're definitely going to have at least one. Should we tell people who it is now or just kind of surprise them on the next episode?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So we'll be interviewing Johan Lennox. For those who have never heard of him, we'll obviously give you a much deeper dive once we do the interview, but he's worked on Astroworld, which is a pretty incredible accomplishment if you ask me. Like, that's huge. Worked with Kanye, so he's definitely someone who's clearly paved a way for himself. Has yet to blow up, but like you and I both know, based on his music and what he's accomplished, like there's no reason why it wouldn't happen. So really looking forward to that conversation, and I'm glad that we have a chance to close off the year on a high. Like we definitely need that to as we go into 2022 and continue this momentum.
Yeah, totally. Again, I think we'll have more of like a flashback looking back at the pod this last year, like on maybe our last episode of the year. But definitely, totally agree. Like that's someone who, again, just to have the credit on Astro World is saying, I fuck with these two guys enough to hop on their platform. Like that's dope, right? Like we were hoping to have local DJs at one point and just people who like no one really knew kind of, but we knew. So we're like, cool. The fact that we can say we have someone who is, we for one think is super, like I think we've been very good and selective about who we have on the show, even though we probably shouldn't be so selective, but I think we just love the culture too much. Like we're not gonna have anyone here who raps, bro. Like it's just, this is not what it's for. But I think we've done a great job. Like, all right, if you hear him on the pod, he or she's gonna be fire. And also just like a confidence was like to us, like, yo, like, damn, bro, this guy's actually fire. And they fuck with us, bro. Because again, I will ask him in the interview, but just to give our listeners like an insight, it was dope that like we spoke to him and there was like a 3-day pause where he didn't respond. So I'm just hoping that was him actually like, yo, who the fuck are these guys? And like kind of like scrolling through our shit, like, all right, cool. And then he hit us up on Monday or whatever. It's like, yeah, let's do it next week. So like that, that was a dope feel. Kind of like when Just Adam was like, I went through your shit. You guys are obviously great guys. Know your shit. Let's definitely do it. So like that was a dope feeling. So to have that from someone, I guess a co-sign from someone who actually knows what's in, like, is in the culture and a part of music, like, you know, music that we actually fuck with heavy. I mean, it can only give us the boost we need to go into next year.
Yeah, it's 100% a confidence booster. Especially because I feel like for that week, I was just so immersed in his music. I was like, if he doesn't agree to this, like I'm personally going to be bummed out because I was like, I relate to this shit so much, but yet I can't like just ask you some basic questions. And I think our approach when we interview, it's not like the corny over the top, like we're just trying to get views and ask the same fucking 10 questions that every other like platform asks. Like there's so many questions that I know are going to come up when we talk to him that any fan of his should absolutely appreciate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great. Kudos to you for finding him. We made it happen. Again, not that it was easy, but I think we have a formula now that kind of works when we make it clear to the people that we like, yo, I think this would be a mutual benefit from us. Like, yo, jump on the pod, give your listeners, your day ones more content, and obviously, you know, it can only help you once we pop as well.
For sure. 100% agree.
Awesome, my dude. Let's get out of here. Let the people know where to catch us. And let's call it an episode.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. We have all of our links to all of our platforms. New episode every Friday. Get the new merch as well. We still have orders coming in, and every single customer has given us a 5-star review and about how comfortable these are.
Dude, comfortable, fucking people wearing it out. It's getting colder everywhere now. So yeah, guys, like we're not trying to hype this shit up because fam, this shit's like actually good quality stuff. So, and it looks, again, the logo's fire. So like, there's no way you're rocking that logo and no one's saying that, yo, nice fucking hoodie.
Yeah. Like when we started this podcast, we knew that like it was going to reach this point where we created merch. So we spent a lot of time making sure the logo was something we wanted and something we would want to wear. We're not trying to just sell you shit so we can, you know, pay for like ads or something where we actually
dude, fam, like I'm planning, I'm going to New York a couple weeks, like, yo, half my fits are like me wearing a hoodie, like, fam, like, so like I'm fully ready. Like, I rock this shit because like it's fire, but obviously to promote the pod. But yeah, again, it's dope to see the orders coming in. Tag us in it. That's always great for us, and obviously let people know where you bought it. So definitely appreciate everybody.
For sure. And as mentioned, we have a couple interviews in the works. So tune in for that. And if you'd like to be interviewed and you're like an artist yourself, just submit your work to us. We'll review it and see if we can get something going.
100%. And there was a couple of artists that reached out during the holiday break, so apologize. We both just pretty much disconnected. But yeah, we'll circle back on your stuff and reach out to you next year to get your pod.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. All right, my dude. Love you. Glad you're back safe. Glad you're in a good headspace. We'll talk. Peace.